When I first started recording, went to this guy's house named Infinite. He was probably like 40, but he was still trying to be a rapper. He didn't have a studio, but he had a mic. Now that I'm thinking about it, what the hell was I doing? He didn't even have furniture, but he had a mic stand in his living room. And that was it. It was like a mic stand over here, and it was like a computer in the corner. And we'd just go over there and record, and the quality was very, very terrible. But me just starting to make music, I didn't know what terrible quality was. So I was like, oh, this just sounds dope. I can hear myself now. Like. Southside is a term that me, Ish Williams, and Kev Rogers came up with to pretty much give a name to South Jersey. I want to say Jersey as a whole doesn't really get a lot of respect. But then within Jersey, South Jersey definitely doesn't get respect from North Jersey. So it's like, we're really the outcast. And then within South Jersey, Camden doesn't get respect at all, like period. Like they would rather just burn that city. So it was kind of like a rebellious action between me and my brothers. And we were just saying, you know what I mean? Because we had to go to Philly, like I said. But since you're not from Philly, or you're not really a local artist, they're kind of like off-putting at first. Like they're really not trying to give you the shot. You're gonna go on first, and then you're out. Like they're not really giving you the chance that you deserve. So we used to come out to every show, and we used to scream Southside. Like, all right, we're gonna be Jersey. Y'all don't really mess with Jersey being in the building, but we here. South Jersey in itself is like very diverse. You got the hoods, the suburbs, you got all of that, but it's a lot of trees and shrubbery. The school I grew up, the school I went to, we had no gym, we had no cafeteria, we had no auditorium, we had nothing. It was just a 3-story tall building with no elevator, a bunch of steps, and we ate in our classrooms. But it was so much talent in there. And that was like the perfect representation of like what Camden is. It's a small ass building, compiled with people who have talent, but it's so small and everybody knows each other and everybody's on top of each other. It builds aggression. And we have nothing. Bro, everybody's just lone wolves out here trying to make it work, trying to figure out how to, quote unquote, make it out, because it's never been done before, so there's no blueprint. There's no, who do you follow? Where did this person mess up? Make sure you don't do that. There's nobody to follow except for 23-year-old Fontane, you know what I mean? I started getting traction because I just approached my music differently. I was a storyteller from the beginning. I remained true to that, and I always took lyrics very seriously. Most of the people around me who were starting to do music were either like into the streets and stuff like that. So if everybody's into the streets, then most of the music sounds the same. Like there's no disparity, like there's no diversity. I pretty much gave the people what they wanted from a town that they obviously didn't care about or they didn't know they cared about. I first started getting my break when I dropped He's So Crazy, which was a concept album from top to bottom. It told an entire story based on a nostalgic TV show, Martin, that I pretty much grew up on. So once I dropped that, it's never been done before that I can think of. I was inspired by, you know, Wale's album, the album About Nothing with Seinfeld. I remember I was just high with my boy Ish, and we were just riding around, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, yo, this album's dope, but it'll be better if it was something, because I didn't really watch Seinfeld, but the idea was dope to me. But it was like, it'd be better if the whole story actually corresponded with the skits. Like the skits didn't really have anything to do with the last skit or anything like that, but I'm like, I want to do something like that with Martin. So I ended up doing that, and that turned a lot of heads without people actually saying much, but they were paying attention. And after that, I just took a year off, and I was just dropping banger after banger. I was just trying to see what stuck. We just kept dropping singles because it was easier to push a single than it is to push an entire project from an artist nobody cares about. So we were just doing that, and eventually Down by the River blew up. It's about my boy. This is a very, very common story in Camden. He's in the drug game. He feeling as though, like, once you're in the drug game, you feeling though this is what life is, this is what you're doing. You don't gotta worry about a 9-to-5 or a paycheck from anybody. But life comes at you fast, and he was about to have a son. And I think that hit him hard, because I remember having a conversation with him, and he was telling me about how he wanted to stop everything that he was doing and just be completely clean before the baby come. And I guess karma just called him before he could actually change everything around. Because he's been in a lot of situations where it was like, I don't know how you got out of that. But it was like, I guess it just came back around. But that's not a story that's just meant for one person. I can tell that story about a lot of people who've gone down the wrong path, and then as soon as they're ready to turn back and actually do something positive, something happens. The inevitable happens. I've had several people come up to me and tell me different stories on how that one song changed their life in certain ways. Like, stopping themselves from committing suicide, or they've had somebody in their family who's been killed like that before, stuff like that. People tell me to listen to that song every day just to get through certain stuff. That was one of the main reasons why I started doing music, and that just makes me happy. I always had my own mind. Like most of the rappers, 9 times out of 10, you listen to a rapper's interview, they say, yeah, I grew up, you know what I mean? I was watching the hustlers, and I wanted to be like them. They had the money, they had the cars, they had the girls, they had all of that. I did that too, I understood, but I never wanted to be them because I always understood that these same people never leave. These people grow up to be OGs and local hood celebrities around here. But at the end of the day, they want to be rappers on the side. So I'm like, all right, I can have the same lifestyle these guys have while still remaining true to myself. And I always knew that I can't do my family no good or my friends any good or anybody that cares about me any good if I'm locked up or if I'm dead. So I can draw, I can write, I can sing, I can rap. I got all these talents. It'll be a waste if I just die or rot in somebody's jail. So at a young age, I understood that. So I'm like, all right, I just gotta move differently. I was able to learn from other people's mistakes, my friends' mistakes. I seen them go down the path that I was curious about, and I seen where it ends up. And I just figured it out. Like, I understood that this city is made for me to die, and I refuse to die here, so.